If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option, as Sori says. $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at sori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/VillageXchange. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed at Charles Alida.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
Chivalry?
Yes. They call that chivalry.
It's like, I like chivalry.
Good. God, that doesn't surprise me. Get those likes up, people. If we get 45 likes, I think we're going to have another show tomorrow. We had 45 likes before. And then we had another show the next day, which is today. All right, guys, we're going to get right into it. This is DJ freaking Ben, as you can see up here. Shout out to the big homie.
What was this, like, lost but not forgotten? What was it? What did he call this? Better late than never stream.
Late than never.
So apparently from the very beginning he's had some of these songs. So we're now getting into it now, 5 years later.
This next song is just a song that I've wanted Vin and Sori to do for a while. No overly dramatic story for this one.
Megadeth, Captive Honor, ladies and gentlemen.
Captive Honor.
We haven't had some Megadeth in a while.
Megadeth.
Or at least,
do it.
Or at least it feels like.
Let's do it.
Madness comes, madness goes. An insane place with insane moves. Battles without, for battles within. Where evil lives and evil rules. Breaking them up, just breaking them in. Quickest way out, quickest relief wins. Never disclose, never betray. Cease to speak or cease to breathe. And when you kill a man, you're a murderer. Kill many, and you're a conqueror. Kill them all.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
We find the defendants guilty on all counts for crimes against all humanity. By virtue of the jury's decision and the power vested in me by the state, I hereby sentence you to be incarcerated with no possibility of parole for life.
Life? What do you mean, life? I ain't got a life!
Boy, your soul better belong to Jesus. Cause your ass belongs to me.
Oh no!
Captain Bono, Captain Bono, no time for questions, no time for games. Start kicking ass, like taking down the names. I
All right, captive honor. Ain't no honor. Oh, all right. Let's read this.
Man.
Madness comes, madness goes, an insane place with insane moves. Battles without for battles within. Where evil lives and evil rules. Breaking them up, just breaking them in. Quickest way out, quickest relief wins. Never disclose, never betray. Cease to speak or cease to breathe.
See, when it first started and it said madness comes and madness goes, insane, all that, and then he said quickest way out, quickest relief wins. I thought that what we were talking about is like, like the mentality of where people want to escape any form of pain, any form of discomfort. They just, the fastest way out of every situation that they want, and they never stay to actually learn in a situation. And then I was thinking how that like can add into the way that you'll feel crazy because you're not growing and you're not changing. You're just trying to escape all the time. But then we went on talking about jail and man pussies and stuff. So let's go.
I mean, I'm not really going to talk a lot about that term. That's a pretty disgusting terminology. Holy shit. Yeah, dude, kill yourself. Good night. Woo. All right. I usually don't give Dave Mustaine credit for being a lyricist. I'm usually like, oh, he's a guitar god, but lyrically, like, he's the worst.
Did he really not make it on the 250?
These lyrics are really intelligent lyrics to me. I'm shocked that he didn't make it to the 250 list.
Yeah, jeez.
So I'm looking around right now on that list, kind of like back and forth, but yeah, I watched that documentary, The 13th, is about the 13th Amendment, but they were just like, look, there's a place where we put human beings in cages, we don't let them out, and I was like, yo, that's crazy, dude, like, that's so crazy to me. I was watching a clip from something in the 80s. It was like, oh, this guy, he's in jail for 10 years or whatever. I'm like, damn, what'd he do? Like 5 ounces of weed on him. I was like, what? I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like, forget about all the, the other ramifications, cocaine versus weed, whatever. But, like, just the concept that we do that with people is crazy to me. Like, I understand, like, what do you want us to do about crime? I get it, man, but like that concept just seems, it's crazy to me, like how we're talking about AI, we're talking about like, interdimensional travel, all these types of things, and like we still have this almost medieval
system
relative to justice.
Yeah, don't you think that capitalism plays so much in there? Like the one side, well, why?
Because there's a lot of socialist countries that have a prison system.
No, I'm talking about like the way
I'm talking about the concept of prison itself.
Yeah, but how people get there and stuff. Like if there was,
You can't blame capitalism on it.
Well, first of all, capitalism is a part of me. We keep people in the jail so they can work for free, basically. That's an aspect of it.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the concept as a whole. You did something wrong, we're going to lock you in a cage for X amount of years. That's...
Yeah, but it also seems like...
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Give us some time. Hey, Applejack in the house. Go ahead.
Well, that... Like, people that struggle at, like, the bottom, can't pay bills, then you're more likely to do irrational stuff that could get you in the system. Like, if our system wasn't so hard on people, then maybe people could accumulate more for themselves and for their families and have more to lose and be less likely to act out irrationally and stuff. You don't think capitalism has a factor into that?
Yeah, I'm saying the issue that I'm addressing is not touched on by capitalism.
It's just the system itself you're talking about, like the jail that we actually put people into.
I'm just talking about the concept
of putting a person in a cage.
Somebody does something wrong and we put them in a cage for X amount of years. I'm just talking about that
separated
as a concept
from their
itself.
Family too.
I'm just saying that as a concept itself. Like, really? Like, we got to AI, we've got the internet, we've got... We're reverse engineering exotic systems and platforms, let's say it that way. We're doing all this incredible stuff, but we haven't moved an inch from the system that we had since we started the country. like that's what's weird to me, man. Like, I don't understand it, and that's why I'm saying, like, it's beyond the capitalist, socialist, communist discussion, because communists did it to people. They put people up in the gulags. It's the same idea. Like, you did something wrong, and we're gonna punish you. We're gonna, and look, they had them in a penal colony over there in the gulags, but I mean, that's no different from Kamala Harris deploying those guys into prison to go work in the, whatever. So that's what I'm saying. You keep, but the gulags were communism. That wasn't capitalism. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that thing is weird to me, bro. Like, because it's crazy. Because you reach a time as a parent where you just stop grounding your child. You just stop, because at some point it's like it just doesn't seem even appropriate. Like, you should get to a point where you're like, yo, we can have a conversation. This is XYZ. Like, I think the last time I actually punished Zoe she was like, what, 12?
It's been a long time, but you can't, like,
that whole Martin's incident.
Zoe's like almost a perfect person.
I mean, honestly, she's
It's like,
but it's like,
can't really.
Yeah, that's probably a bad analogy. Yeah, but
even
I don't know.
Like,
it's just crazy.
Use Johan. Even Johan hasn't been grounded in. When's the last time he got in any trouble? And then we're talking Johan. Like he.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm not.
No, it's more conversations, and if people are.
But it's like, there's not even a push. Like, we talk about prison reform.
Yep.
So, like, people are not even thinking in those categories of prison as a whole needs to go away. They're talking about prison reform. Yeah. See what I'm saying? And it's because we understand, like, people are bad and people are always going to break laws. And, most of us are looking at the prison system as a quarantine system. And I understand that. I especially, after the events that happened last week, like, I definitely understand that.
I mean, I don't think that you can get rid of the system altogether. I think that there are some people that... I mean, there's people that have said right out, if you let me out, I'm going to go rape and murder today. Well, we can't have those people out on the streets.
Yeah. I mean, those people just... Yeah. There's different ways of dealing with those people, though.
Right. I see.
There's different ways of dealing with that. There's certain societies where people don't say stuff like that.
I just think that if you have a system that people come out worse than when they went in, that's a faulty system. You can't put 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds in jail for weed and take them out 10, 15 years later and have their lives ruined over that. And I just, because of the DARE program, I thought, like, weed was like, your life is friggin' over. So you can't let kids even, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to ruin, like, your life is, I really thought your life was over.
How did you think their lives were going to be ruined? Because the police were going to jam them up, or because they ingested 1 ounce of weed and that was going to fuck them up?
I thought I always heard that's a gateway drug, and then people were they were going to start smoking, and then they were going to go into this and this and this, and then they were going to literally fry their own friggin' brains off the drugs. And, like, even I had adults pointing out people to me and saying, that guy is like that, and the reason he's like that is because he did too many drugs. So I thought, okay.
Did you make a dichotomy between drugs and weed? Or
I didn't have it. I mean, even when we were doing that, that we were working with the homeless and people on drugs and stuff, at that point, I remember having a conversation with someone and saying, so weed and CBD and marijuana, like, what's the difference? Like, I had no idea. So no, I didn't. It was all really the same to me, and they never really expressed different levels. Like, I think I understood that heroin was pretty serious, but you see what I'm saying? Like, you just, and because of that, like, I didn't realize, like, I'm like, well, the kids, I would have probably looked at it as 10 years in jail is better than your entire life ruined. I don't know, like, I didn't, but I think it's crazy now. Now that I'm an adult, and I'm like, what, are you serious?
I Am Colossus is saying, Pot was a gateway drug because most of it was crap. Therefore, they jump onto the next drug. Now you can literally take one puff and be high for 6 hours. What are you smoking, dude? Yeah. You're smoking one Jesse's high for that. Yeah, but at the same time, you also have what M. Deathman was saying, which is also true. Now you got attorney generals in big cities letting out criminals. That's that Anna Kaspiran. That's the Anna Kaspiran effect, right? Where they're doing the whole bail reform thing in San Francisco, and then she's like, "Yeah, we need bail reform. Fuck this prison for profit system." Cool. Then she went and walked her dog, and then them two dudes did what they did. I would say they sexually assaulted her. So that's the other side of it. It's like, okay, bro, you got daughters, you got a wife. Like, you want them people in the streets with your daughter? Hell no. Right. And, I mean, there's some... Let me not say that. But it's just... It's a hard... Definitely, like, there's no simple solutions to that issue, but for me, it's like we don't have an alternate solution because we're not motivated enough. Like the people, we're not motivated enough to really change that system, and I'm not sure that I am. Like, there's so many problems in the world, like how to fix healthcare, how to fix XYZ, that it's like, look, man, if you're the type of person that's inclined to go jam people up and take their money and shit, like, you're not going to be at the top of the priority list as far as like how to reform treating you. You know what I mean? Like, there's just way too much shit going on. But but to your point, a lot of the times, like that prison system will turn you, that's kind of a debate. It was a big debate in the community during GWAT, which is like, one was, well, Muslims only know pressure, they only know, whatever, and the people that had that argumentation had documents and they had history on their side. Then there was another philosophy that's saying, listen, man, these guys come from a shame honor culture. You might be elongating a war. You might be, whatever. You might be turning people who otherwise wouldn't be what we would consider terrorists into terrorist-minded people if you do that. And so there's all this back and forth, and both sides had examples where if you would have used their thing, people wouldn't have died. So it's, it's, I mean, for me, obviously, it's Al-Laki, like looking at his trajectory and being like, yo, the dude started out being born in America saying that what America has done overseas is wrong, but then what Al-Qaeda did in 9/11 was wrong. You went from that to being the #1 recruiter for Western jihadists in about 3.5 years. And what happened in that gap? We turned the dude into, I mean, the rendition program, yada, yada, yada. So, I don't know. Like, I feel like our prison system kind of functions that way. It's kind of like a, rendition program where like these guys come back and they're worse than they were before, or they have to, I don't think every prison is like, oh, you get, assaulted in jail or whatever. I'm sure there's a bunch of vanilla prisons all over the country. I mean, you got to find some place to send these celebrities, like, what's her face? Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart was a gangster. She didn't snitch on nobody. She wouldn't snitch on anybody. But, like, she lived in a, it was like a country club.
How long was she in there for?
Like a year and a half. I don't know. She was in a year and a half time. I was like a country club. But, like, crimes like that, like, I don't know, man. Give back restitution. Like, if you stole in the Old Testament, you had to restitute. You had to pay 5 times the amount.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And then they'd call it good. What they wouldn't do is they wouldn't charge everybody else in the community X amount of shekels to hold you in a fucking prison to teach you a lesson. I think having to pay back 5 times restitution is enough lesson that you need. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I agree, yeah. I think the other issue, too, is that once you supposedly, your jail or your prison is to reform people, I guess. I don't know. But then when they get out, you don't want to give them jobs.
Well, like, yeah. I mean,
so did they get better?
I don't want to give them jobs.
Did they get better? No, they didn't get better, and that's why you don't want to give. That's why that's like that.
Look, the last time we hired somebody with shit on his record, he raped and murdered one of the one of my coworkers. So fuck those people. I don't care about those people.
What, did he have something like that on his record? Or did he have, like, he stole
he had a felony on his record. He had,
Yeah, but a felony could be, you can't you get a felony from, like, putting graffiti on a federal property?
If he wouldn't have hired him, Don'd be alive today. So, fuck those people. I don't care about that shit. I really don't. I really, really don't. But obviously, I'm not looking at it from a objective perspective. I'm definitely not looking at it from a compassionate perspective. Because like I said, I've lost people over this shit. So I don't give a fuck about, I can't get a job. Like, I don't care. But at the same time, whether or not I care, it's like, cool, bro. You're not going to hire him. Great. But what is he going to do? Because he still has to eat.
That's the thing.
He still has a place to sleep, blah, 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 blah. So, cool. But like I said, that's somebody else's problem to figure out. We should, the people that hired that motherfucker, they thought they were doing the right thing. They were doing the nice thing. They're going to look the other way and give a guy a chance and not judge him, blah, blah, blah. Well, great. Well,
damn.
Now Donna's dead and so is her baby, and she left this world in a fucking horrible, horrible, horrible way. So, I don't care about those people. Fuck those people. Fuck them. Seriously, I don't care. But at the same time, okay, they're not going to work. So then what are you going to do? Because they got to do something.
Yeah. There's a lot of people in jail that haven't been in there for extreme things. And so I think treating people like that because they've been to jail and it could be something that's just not even a big deal or something that doesn't even pertain.
Agree.
I just, and for me, I know everybody has, probably everybody, there's sticking points for them for where there is injustice in the world. The prison system is really one that, bothers me a lot because I feel like I just was lied to for so long about it. And I really believed that those people should be in there. I was bring back the chain gang. I was 100% for that system because I thought, people are, I thought the system was for the right thing and that's what the goal was. And then when I started realizing that, the way that the people are treated, and I understood how they were treated by talking to people that I love that work with those people. And when I heard from them what they had to say about the people in the jail, it was sad to hear. It was sad to hear because it's those people are they're still human beings. I think that there are some people that they're beyond themselves, and so we have got to keep them separated. But some of this stuff, like you said, friggin' 5 ounces of weed or whatever.
Yeah, and what's probably more true than my experience is that you get a guy who's marginally basically a good guy who made a mistake or two, or girl, and they get put in the system and they come out twice as son as hell as they were before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? That's true too. So that's what I'm saying. This is kind of like the immigration thing. I don't know what the solution is. I know what the biblical sort of posture that we're supposed to have is, but I don't know practically how to work that out in a just way.
Especially when the system is already there.
But I'd have given anything to be able to not have that guy work with us.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's funny because until I had that experience, I would have taken we got to give him a chance. But it's the same thing with Kasparian. Kasparian had an idea about the ideal, and then the ideal ran into her, and then it was different. I don't know what the solution is. I just think that we should be able to, Perk's point is it's relatively recent, but we should be able to update the, we're still using this institution from the fucking 16, 17, what are we doing? We can't update anything? We're not driving horses anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Is it true that people in jail
I
can't
think
vote?
it's felons. Felons, you can't vote if you got an F on your record now. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what the whole... There's a lot of things, but it's funny because you could run for president. So Trump could presumably run for president and be the president from prison, but his cellmate wouldn't be able to vote for him.
What?
It's Megadeth. It's a 9.7.
It's a 9.6 for me. Also, Amy, you can put the poll up. It's the vote, people are trying to figure out what I'm drinking. It's either chocolate milk, coffee, spiced rum tea, black tea, or coffee. Did I already say coffee?
Yeah.
No. There you have it.
All right, guys. We shall be back on the other side of the break. Commercial break. We'll be right back.